Ladies and gentlemen, the ringing of that phone bell brings you mystery, adventure.
Nero Wolfe's office. Archie Goodwin speaking. No, I'm sorry, Mr. Wolfe is busy planning a menu. Well, I'll see if he can talk to you. What's the name again? You want to talk to a dame named Mrs. Collins?
Hang up, Archie.
Do we know a Mrs. Collins?
No.
I don't suppose you care, but I think her voice is very charming.
Doubtless. Every female has a charming voice to you. Hang up.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mrs. Collins, but at the moment, Mr. Wolfe is too involved with his digestive system to be interrupted. However, if I may introduce myself, Archie Goodwin, Mr. Wolfe's assistant, if I can be of any help.
Archie.
Yes, Mrs. Collins, I'll ask him. Cocktail party?
Hang up, Archie.
Mrs. Collins, I'm afraid it would be better if you didn't expect Mr. Wolfe. Goodbye. Cocktails, phooey.
Absurd. Totally absurd.
She says you promised to come to her cocktail party, and why aren't you there?
Because you are going to attend the cocktail party and the probable unpleasant ending.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that genius who is the bulkiest, the most ponderous and most brilliant detective in the world. Yes, none other than the chair-born mass of unpredictable intellect, Nero Wolfe, created by Rex Stout and brought to you in a new series of adventures over this NBC network.
Mr. Wolfe and I refer to this as the case of the party for death. Nero Wolfe really should have gone to the party since he had accepted, but I was delegated. I can't complain now, since it was there that I met Georgia, the most beautiful blonde. Well, that's my weakness, blondes. Yeah, and redheads and brunettes. And well, anyway, Mr. Wolfe was adamant about going to the party.
I have never been to a cocktail party in my life. You know I drink nothing but beer.
You could take your beer with you, couldn't you?
I could not.
Do we know a Mrs. Collins whose cocktail party you said you would go to?
Phone rang and I picked it up.
Where was I?
Exactly.
Okay. So, Mrs. Collins, with a beautiful, seductive voice, conned you into accepting an invitation to a cocktail party that you knew you weren't going to.
Archie.
Yes, master.
Just a little less sarcasm, perhaps.
Sarcasm?
Or call it impertinence, then.
Impertinence, master.
Exactly. Less of that. Much less.
Okay.
Continue now.
Where was I?
You are reading the duck recipe.
Oh, yes, the duck. Oh, here we are. Dodine de canard. The dodine is one of the oldest dishes in the repertory of French cooking, being mentioned in books of the 14th century. Les grands cuisiniers de toute cuisine.
Cuisinier. Huh. Phooey. What time is it, Archie?
Almost 6:30.
Oh, in that case...
You're getting up?
Here on this card are your instructions, Archie. If you're still alive tomorrow, you may make your report.
I helped the huge bulk that was Nero Wolfe out of his specially built desk chair and walked him to the elevator that would take him upstairs to his orchids. I stepped back to the desk and found the card which bore my instructions. In his small, perfect handwriting, I read, Mrs. Albert Collins, Empire Towers, arrive at 7 o'clock, say I sent you. After the murder, telephone me before the police arrive. At exactly 7 o'clock, I rang Mrs. Collins' doorbell. Mrs. Collins.
I'm Mrs. Collins.
I'm Archie Goodwin. We talked on the phone a little while ago.
Oh, yes. Well, come in, Mr. Goodwin.
Mr. Wolfe begs to be excused. At the last moment, he was unable to attend.
Well, I am glad you could come.
You're not disappointed?
No, I don't think so, but I am rather upset. I'm afraid, Mr. Goodwin, for my life. That's why I called Mr. Wolfe. Oh, just drop your hat and coat there, Mr. Goodwin.
May I tell you something, Mrs. Collins?
Well, of course, Mr. Goodwin.
Archie will do.
Archie.
When I spoke to you on the phone, I thought I knew what you'd look like.
And?
You do.
Well, is that good?
It's not bad, Mrs. Collins.
Oh, Janie will do.
Janie will do.
Oh, Archie, I think it would be best if I say you're an old beau of mine.
From where?
Oh, in Hollywood, when I went to Hollywood High, and you went to USC.
Okay, but don't expect me to remember too much about it.
I'd be flattered if you remembered anything about it. Look, I want you to keep your eyes and ears open tonight. Observe everything. Well, now shall we join the party? Oh, Albert, this is Archie Goodwin. Archie, this is my husband, Albert.
How do you do?
Hello.
And this is Joe Boyce, my husband's partner.
How'd you do?
Boyce?
Oh, I've told you about Archie, Albert, but I guess you probably don't remember, do you?
No, I don't.
Oh, when I was in high school and he went to USC.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, what do you have, Goodwin?
I'd like a plain lime and soda.
Oh, now really? A teetotaler now?
Yes, I used to overdo it, remember?
Uh-huh.
So you knew my wife in Hollywood?
Oh, quite a while ago, though.
Yeah, been here long?
Oh, a while.
You and my wife run into each other again just lately?
Yeah,
2 days ago.
about.
Joe Boyce here is my partner, chemical business. Makes this sort of an old home week, doesn't it, Joe?
In a way, Al, I guess it does it that.
Joe knew my wife back in those days, too, and they're still very friendly. Yes, indeed. You two have got something in common to talk about, haven't you, Goodwin?
Mrs. Collins, you mean? Oh, we never knew each other very well.
No?
Okay. Goodwin, let it go.
Why, look what I found, a new man. Just what I need. Hi, I'm Georgia.
Archie.
Archie. Dear, will you fix up my drink for me, please?
Anything for a lady.
Oh, well, let's go to the bar, eh, Archie?
I'm determined, Joe. If it were only the money, or only Jane, I might listen.
Oh, Al, can't we talk about it later?
I like talking about it now, Joe.
You're gonna be sorry about this, Al.
I am already, but you'll have 20 years or so in prison just being sorry. I got the papers you forged right here.
You're hysterical, Al. Let's face it. The frame went broke, but I suffered too, so let's forget it.
Yes, Joe, the firm went broke, but you didn't. And I didn't think my wife did either. The two of you have everything figured for yourselves. Well, I'm turning the papers over to the DA tomorrow.
Nero Wolfe speaking.
Archie, what do you know about this expected murder, if anything?
Has it happened yet?
No, but who's supposed to get killed?
I haven't the faintest idea, Archie.
Then why don't you stop it?
That's impossible. I don't even know who's there.
You want me to tell you?
Not in the least.
How am I supposed to prevent it if I don't know what I'm looking for?
You're not supposed to prevent it, Archie. I don't think you could. I don't think anybody could.
You want to hear what I found out already?
No.
I'll tell you anyway. Collins thinks his wife and his partner Boyce have been stealing his dough, and he's threatening to send Boyce to the clink.
Archie.
Yeah?
You're wasting our time. Go back to the party. There's nothing you can do to prevent the murder. But I want you to be there when it happens.
Now that all the guests have gone, let's sit down here, Georgia.
When Janie was in Hollywood, she must have had more good-looking boyfriends.
Well, let's get personal about this, Georgia.
Yeah, let's.
When you say good looking, do you mean me?
Oh, I don't mean anybody else, Archie.
You know, I think you're pretty too.
Oh, well, you better not let Jane hear you say
You think
that.
she'd care?
I thought you knew Jane.
Only slightly. You don't like Jane very well, do you?
Why?
Why what?
Why don't you tell the truth about it? No man as attractive as you ever knew Janie slightly. They either knew her or they didn't know her. Maybe you think I'm getting a little tipsy?
The idea never occurred to me.
No, well, it has to me.
Refill your glass?
Oh, I'll come with you to the bar.
Well, here's your drink, Georgia. Oh, I find there's no ice left in the ice bucket.
Janie? Hey, Janie, there's no ice.
Oh, well, I'll get some. Here, Archie, give me the bucket.
Mrs. Collins, Janie, I mean.
Yes, Archie.
May I use the phone in the bedroom again?
Oh, of course.
Will you excuse me for a minute, Georgia?
Oh, I'm coming with you.
Now, why don't you just stay here until Jane brings the ice? Well, why don't you talk to Joe Boyce?
Oh, I don't want to talk to Joe Boyce. I don't want to talk to Joe Boyce ever.
Now, look, Georgia.
Oh, I'm coming with you, Archie. Is that clear?
Okay, come on.
Here's where the phone is.
I could have found it myself.
You don't want me here with you, do you?
Just sit down here on the edge of the bed and listen, if that's what you want to do.
Nero Wolfe speaking.
Archie, boss.
Well, Archie, what?
Just a bit of a report.
Go on.
At this moment, I am sitting on the edge of one of two twin beds in the apartment of a Mrs. Albert Collins. Sitting next to me is a gorgeous blonde named Georgia. Georgia, what, dear?
Oh, Boyce.
You're Joe Boyce's wife?
Of course. Didn't you know?
I am sitting next to the gorgeous blonde wife of Albert Collins' partner, Joe Boyce.
Archie, you annoy me.
From what I just learned, I can see there's another friction going on.
You mean Georgia and Jane?
Yep, fireworks between them. This one like no other one.
You got anything more to say?
Well, when I called, I was going to ask if there's any reason why I shouldn't come home now.
I wrote your instructions for you, Archie.
After the murder, call you.
Yes, that's perfectly clear, isn't it?
But what if there isn't any?
Then don't call me. Simple, isn't it?
Hello! He hung up.
Archie,
What?
that was a strange conversation.
Do you want me to explain it to you, honey?
What was that business about murder?
Shall we join the party?
Murder? Oh, Archie, wouldn't you be surprised if there was one?
Yeah, who's going to do what and to whom?
I don't know. Maybe I will.
You lose a date, honey. Do you intend to figure as the killer or the corpse?
Oh, I don't intend to figure as anything. But you never know. Archie, do you think Jane Collins is better looking than me?
Nope.
Honestly?
Honestly.
Well, then what's the matter with me?
Nothing at all.
Oh, yes, there is. Look, do you want to kiss me?
Well, I'll tell you what. I graduated from Sunday school and took a vow.
Oh, well, that's what I mean. If I were Jane, you'd want to kiss me, wouldn't you?
No, frankly, no.
Why not?
Well, I graduated from Sunday school.
Oh, okay, Archie. Let's go back. Well, you boys have such happy faces. Where's Jane?
In the kitchen getting some ice. Where have you been?
With Archie.
Is he an old school chum of yours, too?
Do you care, Joe?
No.
Mr. Boyce,
What?
how much do you weigh?
187. Why?
Then I'll be giving you 5 pounds. Shall we step outside?
Oh, this I have got to see.
Shut up. Mr. Goodwin, you seem angry.
Just terribly hurt.
Would it do any good if I apologized? Today I'm a little upset. If I said anything to offend you, I do apologize. Now, if you still want me to give you a boxing lesson, I'm at your service.
Let's forget it. I'm sorry, too. Jane Collins, came in from the kitchen with a bucket of ice cubes, a tray of fresh glasses, and the strapless gown she'd been wearing.
There, I'd never thought I'd make it. Now, I'm going to mix my own drink, and all you can take care of yourselves. Ice first, then whiskey, and soda. A simple recipe, isn't it, Archie?
All it needs is the ingredients.
I drink to the ingredients. Ah, nice.
Janie, darling,
What, dear?
you mind if I take Archie away from you for a minute?
Uh-huh. Haven't you done that already, dear?
To listen to those girls, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Me? I never think.
What do you do, Archie?
I concentrate
On what?
on not thinking. I did some serious concentrating on not thinking about Nero Wolfe or about the conflict of the partners Albert Collins and Joe Boyce, about the jealousies of Jane and Georgia. The next 5 minutes hardly seemed an hour. Jane and Boyce murmured to each other. Collins drank gently but firmly.
Why can't you be honest, Archie? What is the matter with me?
What, Georgia?
Oh, you weren't listening, were you?
Oh, to every gorgeous word you said.
Uh-huh, what did I say?
Well, I want to hear it again, just the way you said it before.
Well, I said, why shouldn't there be a murder? Why not? It's in order.
Well, it's just not considered the thing to do.
Thing to do. Can you think of anything better?
No, frankly.
I can. Oh, but my glass is empty.
My glass is empty, too. Jane? Jane!
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not much of a hostess, am I? Don't you answer that, Georgia. Oh, but you're all empty. But I've only drunk half of mine.
You don't usually drink so slowly, Jane.
Oh, I'm just not in the mood tonight. I usually drink faster to keep you from drinking mine. You see, Albert always gulps his and then reaches for mine.
What's the difference?
Well, I'll fix you some fresh drinks. But put my drink over there by you, Georgia. And Albert, lay off. I've only had 3 swallows of it. Besides, you don't need any more.
I suppose we know what dear Jane's going to do, don't we?
Lay off, will you?
Lay off. It's my husband who said that, Archie. Archie, meet my husband, Mr. Boyce. But I'll now explain why dear Jane took our glasses away to the kitchen when she could have poured us another drink right here.
Listen, Georgia, will you
Oh.
stop this?
Mr. Boyce is talking again, Archie. What, Mr. Boyce?
Oh, I'm nuts.
Oh, nuts, says Mr. Boyce, Mr. Goodwin. And what do you say, Mr. Collins?
I think Joe has covered the field.
Well, we were talking, weren't we, Archie?
Possibly.
We were talking about dear Jane. She's got to be always the prettiest, always devastating. Right now, she's putting on a completely new face, and in another 20 minutes, she'll come out all horsed up, bright and shining, carrying another tray of drinks.
Yeah, she'll take all night to fix them.
Well, I'm going to get some air on the balcony.
Don't jump off. Al, you're drinking too much lately.
Why should it worry you, Joe, especially now?
When you start drinking not only your drinks, but everybody else's too, well, Jane's right.
Is that what worries you? Slide Jane's glass down here. The ice is all melted.
You see what I mean?
Okay, Joe, let's not get nasty until tomorrow. That gives me an idea. I think I'll propose a toast. Until tomorrow. You know, it may be rather fitting that I should drink a toast from the glass that Janie left. Until tomorrow.
Al! Al! Jane! Janie!
Albert! Oh, Albert!
Nero Wolfe speaking.
May I come home now?
Oh, hello, Archie.
I said, may I come home now?
Have you sent for the police, Inspector Kramer?
Of course.
Who was killed, Archie?
Albert Collins.
How, Archie?
I don't know. You were right, though, weren't you?
Naturally. About what?
Murder.
Oh, that. Well, we can talk about it tomorrow. Good night, Archie. Come home when you can.
What do you mean, come home when I can?
Well, you'll be held as a witness, won't you? Try not to wake me with the elevator when you come in.
Well, Inspector Kramer, you've had me here at headquarters a long while, for quite a long while. Haven't you asked me enough questions?
Goodwin, you say you never saw these people before, Collins or Boyce or their wives. Yet, when all the other guests are gone, you were still there.
Well, I guess I just don't know how to say goodbye.
You didn't know they were partners in a chemical company. You didn't know that Boyce had forged a lot of papers with Collins's name.
All I know is what you tell me.
Goodwin,
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to be nice.
Oh, yes, sir.
Now, I know, of course, that you went to the party because Nero Wolfe told you to.
Do you?
My question is, how did he know what was going to happen?
Why don't you ask him?
I already have.
He told you.
He says he never heard of Collins or Boyce.
Did he say he'd ever heard of me?
He says he isn't responsible for you or your shady friends. Maybe he knows I found a poison pellet in George's bag.
Inspector, may I make an important call?
Go ahead.
Archie? Archie. Oh. Confounded light. Oh. Hello.
What time is it, Master?
Confounded, Archie.
I'll tell you what time it is. It's a little after 4 a.m. I'm at Central Headquarters, and Inspector Kramer has been chatting with me about my shady friends.
Kramer's a jackass.
Just a second. Pick up the other phone, will you, Inspector? Sorry, Mr. Wolfe. What was that you were saying about Inspector Kramer?
I said Kramer is a jackass.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, Wolfe.
Oh, eavesdropping, Inspector.
I was just talking about bringing you down here for a little questioning, Wolfe.
Phooey.
What's that?
Phooey. It can be spelled several ways. I spell it P-F-U-I. Phooey.
You think I won't bring you down here as a material witness?
Yes, I think you won't. I think you'd be making a great mistake if you did.
A great mistake? Why?
Because I might not tell you who killed Collins. Then you wouldn't know which one of these people to prefer charges against. Now, send Archie home. Even he needs an occasional night's sleep.
What do you think of that? He hung up.
So it seems. Busy. He's probably left the phone off the hook, Inspector. By now, he's probably asleep again.
Well, you know I can go out there, don't you?
Oh, sure you can. More important men than you have tried it, and where are they now?
Good one.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to let you go.
Mr. Wolfe and I are very grateful, I'm sure, Inspector.
You want to know why I'm letting you go?
Oh, I know why.
Why?
Because if you're nice and cooperative and don't make too much trouble, Mr. Wolfe will solve this case for you and tell you whom to prefer charges against.
Good one.
Sir.
Get out.
Oh, thank you.